I'm sure that clock must be 3 minutes slow, so we're going to start.
That's awesome.
6:58. Just telling you what Verizon says.
Oh, wrong. Where are you?
Okay, if you'd please stand, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We would like to welcome you to the April 3rd meeting of the Weare Board of the Selectmen. Fortunately, we weren't snowed out. Before the meeting, we had a brief non-public to interview a candidate for deputy treasurer. And so I would like to jump to that before public comment so we can let Carol Starkey move along here with our appreciation for her accepting the role. So we'll have public comment immediately afterwards, okay? So the person who we interviewed is Carol Starkey, a longtime resident of Weare. And Tina, if you could perhaps just give us the same brief rundown of her credentials for it that you did in the non-public. You were so concise it'll only take a minute.
Okay. Rolling back. Carol, as Tom said, she has lived in town for a long time. She's worked at Farm Credit East in Bedford since 1998. She has a degree in accounting and also a master's in finance. She's proficient in QuickBooks, actually teaches it. And I took a shot and asked her if she'd do this, and she accepted.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
I move that we approve the appointment of Carol Starkey as deputy treasurer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we have a document?
Yep.
Repeat after me. I, Carol Starkey,
I, Carol Starkey,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
and affirm
and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent on me
all the duties incumbent on me
as deputy treasurer,
as deputy treasurer,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
agreeable to the rules and regulations
agreeable to the rules and regulations,
of the Constitution and the law of the state of New Hampshire.
the Constitution and the law of the state of New Hampshire.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. And thank you.
Carol, can I have you sign it? Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The floor is open for public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment?
Thank you, Frank Campiana. I'd like to preface my comments tonight. I never thought this would be a lifetime commitment for me. I'm hoping that it won't be, but the selectmen keep pushing me. It really falls under the heading of my ongoing concern about the selectmen managing my tax money. It just doesn't seem to be there. I mentioned several times, certainly over the years and lately, about the possibility of the highway department doing car repairs for the police department specifically. I know they do some for other departments. And I have to qualify that to say that I agree with the road agent that he didn't want to have anything to do with the older cars being repaired. It just was too much for them, and I certainly agree with that. And secondly, I certainly understand that it's a question of scheduling for the highway department to take on other vehicles. Certainly, I'd rather have them fix a plow truck when we're getting a snowstorm than change the oil in a car. I think it can be, worked out. So, that being said, I referred to the older cars. Sometime in the beginning of March, went down by Mark Phillips there, and I saw the SUV there, the Explorer. First time I'd seen that. I don't travel the road that often. Well, that's not a newer car. So I had in my mind, I said, well, I'm going to try to request an invoice for that vehicle and see what it's down there for. I know the selectmen never probably look at invoices, especially for that department where it's been a large expenditure, just to see what's been done. So it happened to be candidates night, and the police chief walked in, and I asked him, I said, yes, I see the SUV there, what needs to be done with it? And he rattled off a few things, and I said, okay. I said, well, I said, I'd like to see the highway department, take on some of that if time and scheduling avails, permits that. He said, I have to talk to Benji. Well, and he's been on board for quite a long time, and I've made the comment at least once or twice while he's been on board to the selectmen, and nothing happens. Well, I got the invoice, and it was on your manifest for last week. It was dated 3/17. So, and just because, to refresh your memory, and I know we have a mechanic here, they replaced, as Kelly's told me, muffler pipe and a resonator was cracked, and had to do brakes and rotors, and then there happened to be a V-belt, a serpentine belt, and I guess a V-belt. So, all right, when I got the invoice, it pretty much confirmed that, and here it is here. I kind of agree with it a little bit, probably a little bit too much for the highway department to do at that particular time, maybe, but it's not beyond the highway department to do any of that. A muffler, brakes, and a V-belt. I mean, the highway department takes care of something over $1 million worth of equipment that they can do. So I was a little bit disappointed, and I actually looked up it has the what we were charged, and as far as the muffler, it sounded like it had to be a dealer part. Well, that was over $1,000, so I guess we're stuck there. The disc brakes and the brake pads and the rotors, I'm pretty sure that they were purchased locally because of what they're described here. And we did, in fact, in one instance, we got charged actually a little bit more than list price, which has been another concern of mine, as I say, confidence in the selectmen and this particular department head, because I never hear any other issues from other departments. But, money is no object. Well, I'm the money, these folks here are the money, you folks are the money. But in regards to that, I also received, which I didn't ask for, but they were presented to me, is 2 other invoices. And one was for the Taurus, change motor oil, lube and chassis, or lube chassis. Now, I don't know if they do that anymore. But, it's a relatively small amount, $42, but I certainly have confidence in the highway department doing that. It's too bad our police chief doesn't. Again, it might have been scheduling, I don't know. And I'm more concerned that the board doesn't seem to have confidence to push that. The taxpayers are the deep pockets of the town. And I'm cutting this very short because it looks like you have a full agenda. And the third invoice, this floored me, and it doesn't give me hope for the future of the police department and their vehicles. absolutely no hope at all. I know we have a sitting selectman, that at candidates night, that person says, yeah, I'm gonna go right, I'm gonna look at, I can assure you, I'm gonna look at all the invoices. Well, this is one that wasn't looked at,
I have it right here on my
And-
notes.
okay? I wasn't gonna single you
I
out,
can
but.
tell, I can tell you what the amount of that bill is.
Well, I'm doing public comment, and then you can do it, okay? Because I've had this, I was gonna do this last week, but something else came up. Well, here's a car, 2011 Crown Victoria. It went in for a check engine light, all right? And I'm reading from the invoice. Diagnose malfunction indicator. Check engine light. This is on the dashboard. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. The check engine light comes on. I'm sure everybody's familiar with it. Fuel cap light is on as well. That was on first. This person, this mechanic down there, he checked the fault codes for fuel cap loose. Checked the fuel cap. The cap was on, but it was on crooked. I mean, really, it's really comical. The mechanic, you know, you should get a kick out of this. The light tells you. Reinstalled the cap correctly, cleared the fault, performed a test, and all was okay. I mean, come on. I mean, me, as archaic as I am, I can see that. You know, the light comes on. So, you know, nobody cares about that. And I don't know who authorizes a car to go down there to be fixed and what has to be done. You mean to tell me that these offices, maybe Kalia has to have something in their books that gives them a basic, basic instruction to say, well, when a light comes on and tell you the gas cap, is on crooked, well, you get out and check it. Well, that cost us $90, folks, to tighten up a gas cap. Thank you for being able to spend that money, and thank that department head for having that money available to spend. $90. He should have bought some bathroom tissues with it. The other thing was low tire light. Checked all the time. Now this is apparently it comes. I know we've got a 2002 car and it has a light on for low tires. So anyway, low engine light. Check all tires. Found passenger one of the front tires was under minimum threshold. No leaks found. Reset tire pressure and the light went out. Well, I guess the mechanics, the place where the car was fixed. A little bit of credit. They didn't charge us anything for that. But $90, and I know it's going in one ear and out the other, and I know saying, well, Campana's up there complaining again, but you're right, I am. And you should be complaining too, but complaining to the right people, not complaining to me because I'm up here. And I'll make sure every opportunity that I have, and which I've done for the past week and a half, since I've had this, that's what I've told people. I said, it would cost me $90. Thank you for spending my money wisely.
Frank, just before you sit down, we do go through the invoices, at different times with different people. I come in every Saturday, sometimes Sunday, go through every invoice one at a time, sign off on them, so that allows me to come here at the last minute.
And listen to me.
No, we also get a monthly printout from a finance department that tells vehicle by vehicle what's been spent on them. We have in front of us tonight a summary of vehicle services for the police department. It breaks it down each vehicle and what's been spent on it so far this year. We've spent $3,473.41 on repairs. Now, I can't comment on that loose gas tank cap. I saw that in the invoice. But I know that in cars that I've had, if the check engine light comes on, you don't know what it's for until it's checked out. And sometimes you do run into something like that.
I read it right here, Tom, and this is the mechanic's writing. I knew you were gonna do that. You're gonna try to dissuade, my comment.
Well, I'm just
You know,
saying that
It
from my
says
knowledge.
fuel cap light is on as well. That was on first. Okay?
Yeah, I've never seen one that had a fuel cap light separate from the check engine light.
You know,
So then that's.
I don't know.
the way it
Maybe
was.
police cars are made a little different. You know,
But we do keep
but-
up on it, that's all I'm saying. You have a right to your opinion, and I'm not gonna debate that, because you
Right.
certainly do.
Right.
And I'm just saying that we do keep up on the expenses. We go through the individual invoices for each check that's written, and we do get a monthly report from this and also from the highway, because we've had a lot of the trucks from the highway are 13, 14 years old, and they're starting to accumulate a lot of expensive repairs as well that can't be done at the highway garage, so.
Well, the highway is not my issue. It's the police department, because the police department is the worst offender, continues to be the worst offender, and it's continuing, and you're enabling, the board is enabling that department to be the worst offender.
Just one other thing, we did, because of the passage of the article for the 3 vehicles, a part of that involved reducing the repair line in the operating budget by $10,000, and that was done.
Well, that's not a big challenge, because you got new cars. So, and some of it's gonna be covered under warranty for a while, I would imagine. So that's not a great mountain to climb, to reduce it. Thanks.
Thank you, Frank.
Eileen Meany from Quaker Street. I'm using this as free advertising. I'm here to let everyone know that on Tuesday, April 18th, at 5:30 to 7:30, there is a special medical and mental health E911 registration event being held at the Weare Police Department as a joint effort of Weare Police and Fire. It is open to anyone who has someone in their home in town who might benefit from having 911 know that there are special circumstances in that house, whether it be someone who has a child who is on, has a neurological issue, is on the autism spectrum, has either physical or other impediments that might be important to know about. If someone has an elderly family member who may suffer from dementia, that would be helpful to know about. So that event's going to be, again, on the 18th from 5:30 to 7:30. I will be there helping people register. And this is, I believe, the 5th or 6th time that we've done this, the last one being in 2012. So I'm hoping that anyone who registered in 2012 comes back, gets an updated picture of their family member, so that we have all the pertinent and up-to-date information. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Next on our agenda, we have several people who are up for reappointment for various boards and commissions. So, if you would step forward, we'll do all we can to encourage you to move on and stick with it. Craig Francisco is here for reappointment as a full member to the planning board.
He doesn't look very enthusiastic.
Well, first I got to comment that these two names are backwards, and that's you're John and you're Jan.
I know.
Something's very confusing. Oh, wow. Okay.
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. That's better. I feel better already.
Okay, you've been on the planning board for how long, Craig?
Actually, I asked Naomi that. I think 12 years. Not sure. That's a guess. Somewhere there.
And you're back for more.
Unfinished business, I think.
A glutton for punishment.
Yeah, and we're glutton for punishment.
Any members of the board have questions for Craig?
No?
We make this short and sweet, and I appreciate your agreeing to be up for reappointment. And I'll accept a motion to that effect.
Move to appoint Craig Francisco to a full member of the planning board for, was it term of 3 years?
3
3
years.
years.
3 years.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Craig, will you just make a point of stopping by Maureen to swear you in?
If,
Okay.
I was already told that, actually.
Okay. Good thing. Follow instruction then. Andy.
Andy Fulton to be reappointed as a full member of the Conservation Commission. Andrew, I know you've been on that for a long time and a long time as chair.
Yes, it has been. I think we're close to 10 years as chair, probably around 12 years, similar to Craig's term.
We appreciate it. Whole town does, I'm sure.
Still worth doing. That's why I keep at it. And, you know, we're always glad to have new ideas, new blood. We're pretty short-staffed, but we've got enough to keep going, and we'll try to share good information, make good choices for the town.
I've noticed your subcommittee, the Trail Committee, has been at work up in the Eastman area, mapping out a new trail, and beginnings of a kiosk there.
Excellent. Yep, and they'll get a good shot in the arm this year when we bring on a firm to help us with some master trail planning. So that's in the works. We'll have a outfit from Vermont in on next Wednesday to talk about what services they might provide us.
Questions?
I know I'm gonna get hung for this, but in the last 4 or 5 years, you people have done timber harvesting on town property. Why do you continually do what I call clear cut instead of selective cutting property?
That would be a question for our town forester, and we're confident that he's making recommendations on the type of harvest that are in the long-term interest of our town forests.
I disagree with him 100%. That's it.
Anyone else? Motion?
Make a motion that we reappoint Andy Fulton to the Conservation Commission for 3 years.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'll give you the
Opposed?
same. Can you stop there on Wednesday night?
Would be okay
Before the
to
meeting?
next Wednesday?
Yeah, before your meeting. Thank you. Randy.
Okay, Randy McGowan? For reappointment as a full member to Parks and Recreation.
Yep.
And what keeps you coming back?
I asked myself the same thing. So honestly, I don't know if I'll be doing the full term, but we're a little light on staff, so I figured I'd re-up, and maybe if we recruit some more people, I'll make my way out.
We'll see you in 3 years.
Yeah. Every 3 years, I'll be saying the same thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, we seem to have a lot of repeat offended.
Nice guy.
No, we appreciate it, you know, and any time that a person takes time away from home to come to meetings and give to the town is appreciated. Any questions from anyone? I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we reappoint Randy McGowan to the Parks and Recs Commission for 3 years.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can stop and see Maureen too, right, Randy?
What's that?
You can stop and see Maureen too?
Yep.
At some
Perfect.
point. Yeah.
Makes my life easy.
Next on our agenda is a discussion of the skateboard park with the representative from the school district. We had a joint meeting to discuss this, I guess a couple months ago. And the agreement was that the school group would present a draft of an MOU for discussion, and so we have that in front of us tonight. And are here to discuss that and either approve it or add to it or question it. So who is the spokesperson for this tonight?
Nice.
I think Marge got thrown under the bus for that.
Thank you, Tom. Marge Burke, Merrill Road. I am going to defer questions to our two principals and business administrator, Mr. Mark Willis from the middle school and Mrs. Sean Hilliard from Center Woods Upper Elementary and Mrs. Kathleen Sargent, our business administrator. Mark and Sean were the primary authors of the MOU because they're the ones that deal with all the discipline issues. But the board has reviewed and worked on this for a couple of months. So if anybody has any questions, my experts over here can answer them, I hope. I know.
I had one question. When we met with our joint meeting, one of the things that came up was making sure that the school administration had the right to step out and say leave if somebody was acting up. I don't think it specifically says that in this. Is there a place where it's implied? Because I think that was an important point, that, you know, when school's in session or after school, when the administration is there, they have the right to say, you know, you guys gotta leave now, the girls gotta leave now, because we can't put up with this behavior.
I think some of that's covered in line 1 where it says it's closed during school session.
Yeah.
And line 12.
School, yeah, we'll monitor the equipment.
Yeah, I read those. You're okay with that, I think.
I think
I
the other
was looking
one,
for something a little stronger, but.
the other one is under the infractions.
Yeah, under the infractions, individuals from public requested to leave by school administration. Would you like school
Yeah.
administration
What
somehow
number?
added in
It's,
that we would be the ones?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would just suggest that it say right out that the school administration has a right to ask that, so there's no question whatsoever that that's there. That's really the only thing that I had on here that I saw that maybe needed to be strengthened.
Can I get up?
you sure?
You can stick around.
We're
So,
gonna have a debate.
Karen Stogner from the Park Board. We had that roundtable, which was great. So, and I know that the school was kind of, this was put in their hands for putting this together, and I think it's a great outline. I think now that this is available for everyone and we understand your concerns, I think there should be more of a roundtable again to hash out really what is meant by each one of these. I mean, standing here, one saying one thing, one saying another thing. There's no, you know, interaction between the two parties, being the park board, the selectmen, and the school. I mean, I do have questions regarding, you know, some of the questions. I mean, some of the bullets on here, but the park board also hasn't had the benefit of having a meeting either to address the memorandum of understanding. You know, we meet once a month and we don't meet again for another 2 weeks. So we haven't had the input of the entire park board, and a lot of this does fall on park shoulders, you know, for repairing, replacing, and stuff like that. So I'm not sure that the park board would be in a position tonight to go ahead and say, and I don't know if you would leave parts of this up to us or not, but I don't think we have any standing whether to say, yeah, let's move forward with this, or if we have, as a group, any concerns. And I think these are great. I do have some concerns about number 3, number 4, number 7, 10, and 15. And the enforcement, you know, I at our last meeting, I wasn't super thrilled about the response from Chief Kelly when confronted with the task of having his patrols maybe do a swing by every, twice an evening or twice during their patrolling, where he just said they were too busy to take upon that task. But I'm down at the ice rink one night and I see 2 patrol cars drive by, at two different times within 20 minutes. So, I'd like to see something like that be created, where they just take a stroll by and have their presence seen down there. And that doesn't have to be included in this memorandum of understanding. I realize that, it's a separation of tasks between the school and the park board, but, I think we would like to have the opportunity, if I'm not mistaken, to be able to talk about it as a board and then come back again. We still have a couple months before people actually get out there and use it, right?
So that's not actually, we've had.
Are they out there already?
They're on a regular basis already. Yeah.
Well, the
So-
reality is that, we're looking long-term toward the future with it. And so, a couple of weeks in making a final decision, we better to take it and get something that everybody could be content with, rather than saying we need it tomorrow and then we start finding loopholes that don't work. So, which one's
Number 15 is the most concerning.
number
Last
15?
one.
The alternate location.
Number 15, the last one on there,
Yeah.
basically moving it off the property after 5 years.
Yeah, I think that, I'm sorry, I missed on that, because when I read it through in my emails, I had questioned that as well, because we can't make it that as a guarantee.
I'll go through the ones that I have, that I personally have concerns about. Where just 3 and 4 are the enforcement of, use by Weare residents only and people under 15. I mean, that's a suggestion, I think. I'm not sure how exactly we would enforce that. But yeah, you guys can probably, better. When you're over there, you recognize the people that are using it and potentially know how old they are, I guess. I wouldn't have any idea without confronting, the kids that are there and.
I just, my feeling on that is it's better to have them there, because then
Sure.
if somebody is there and obviously they've been shaving for 5 years, it gives you the right to go over and say, this is for kids, we gotta ask you to leave.
Yeah,
Where
no,
if
I
there's
know.
no rule
Or if they
here,
drive there.
so I don't see it as
That's
something
fine.
where the police are gonna come by and check every day
They
to
drive
see
there.
if you check
They
IDs and
drive
so
there.
forth. But if you
Yeah,
have it
drive
there,
there.
then when the circumstances arise, you can ask them to leave, and that's the way that I read those
Sure.
two.
If it's posted, either on a posted sign, it's enforceable, so.
Are you having issues with anyone over the age of 15?
Yeah, they drive there.
High school kids?
I mean, this is where a roundtable would be beneficial, I think, instead of flip-flopping around all over.
Mark Willis, principal at Weare Middle School. Yeah, we do have issues with older kids, and typically we know they're older because they're there during the school day. And we were talking about this earlier, and in most cases, we really don't have a problem shooing them away from the property. They've been very good about it. I mean, I've been there 9 years, and maybe once or twice I've had somebody get a little off color with me, but other than that, they've always left. But we do have older kids come in, and when you have other school districts that may be out on a break of some kind, we'll get kids that'll come in there to skate because they may not be able to go to one of the other parks. But we see them out there, we get down and have to run them off. We kind of talked about this. I think a lot of these are like a guideline. And you may be right, and we may know some of these kids, and they've been shaving for 5 years, and they're in 6th grade probably. But we know most of the kids that do come in there, and I mean, we know during a school day they shouldn't be there at all. There shouldn't be anybody around. We do have some younger people come in with grandparents and parents and so on, and we've had to go out and ask them to leave too until the end of the school day. But, we looked at it as guidelines for us to follow with it, and You know, I guess we can wait and put it into place if that's what we need to do.
Well, I mean, there's such as, you know, the current needs, okay, so we have, fence repairs, updated signage, an additional gate, to be completed by the Park and Rec Commission. Well, I updated the signs last year, or we had them re-lettered, so I'd like to go over what needs to be on there, what needs to come off of there. I think we're going to be responsible for updating signage. I'm not sure where you want to put another gate. There is one there. The big one that kind of.
There's one off the side where there isn't one. There's an opening that goes out onto the softball field that's a smaller one.
Yeah, that needs the repair. There used to be a fence there. And it was,
No, wrong corner.
That's between the playground and the
Yeah,
and the skate
it's
park.
the
other
opposite
one has
corner.
a-
There's actually an opening that comes in there that didn't have a gate on it.
I don't think it ever has.
No.
It's just like a body opening. I don't really want to put another gate there.
Taller fence. But we'll hold
But we're gonna move it in
We'll hold
5
it.
years. So I
Okay.
don't wanna spend the money to fix it if we're gonna.
Is that on?
With that.
You know what, I think something that's kind of unique is because it is at a school. I think that I have a 15-year-old grandson who does utilize skate parks and, you know, with their scooters and all kinds of things like that. And he goes to the ride indoor place. I don't know what you actually call them all, but, and I've been up to the one in Meredith. That's a beautiful one. It's run by Parks and Rec, but it's not at a school. The one in Hampton is also, I mean, but you guys have this right here, and I think the only other one I've seen that's like that is in Ossipee.
Hopkinton High School has a,
Hmm?
Hopkinton High
has
School
a,
has
Do
a
they?
huge one
One
in
is
the
in
high
around
school
here?
grounds.
yeah, like twice the size of what we have.
Yeah, it's huge.
And then, just number 10, the signage to include the rules and expectations set by the school district for appropriate use. If we're gonna do that, I'd like to coordinate what's already on here and what they're looking to have added to or taken away from. I know there's video surveillance and stuff like that you wanted on there. I'm not sure if you're looking for like a whole, you know, thing, the sign that's down there now, or if you're looking for smaller ones to put around.
Well, my opinion on this, I mean, I think the Parks and Recs and the school board need to get together another roundtable. I 100% agree because you know, where it's laid out here, the different responsibilities. I think both parties need to come out understanding before it comes to us. So I think this is a great outline again, but I think that you know, Parks and Recs need to have some input on this. If you know, again, that we're going to be doing fence repairs, et cetera, that they need to have some input on that. So I think a roundtable between the school board and the Parks and Recs is in order before it, you know, and both of them on the same side before, you know, we say
I don't need to
anything.
create more work for everybody.
No.
Everybody on
But
the
if
same
it's going to be a
page.
shared responsibility, then I think it needs to be.
I think, you know, this is like first draft, so we have to kind of fine tune it,
Right.
which we know. And I think it probably would behoove the Parks and Recs department to get together with the committee and go over it step by step and then make some changes and get with Marge and the school board.
I got them all here.
And sit down again in another one and hash out, you know, the different bullet points of what you see and what you see. So, I mean, to tune it up, and this, like I said, this is the rough draft.
How many people on your committee? And how difficult is it to get you all together?
I'm not hard on it, like a Tuesday of the month, but.
so we actually have a meeting next Tuesday.
We have a meeting on Tuesday, April 18th. Can you come to our school board meeting?
I can ask.
I could make a suggestion, so we don't prolong it too much. The Parks and Rec, as a group, the committee, go through it and have some specific recommendations. This will work for us, this one we've got to discuss, and then come back, and maybe this meeting should include representation from this board so we can close the deal all at once, rather than having a round table and then back to here or back to there.
I think if they, like, Parks and Rec meets next Tuesday, and then once they hash it out and make some adjustments, and then a representative go to the school board and sit down, doesn't have to be I'd say it wouldn't have to be the whole committee if they have a consensus.
Take
And-
your
Okay.
And
comments.
then they can get it hashed out and then bring it back to us, and then we can,
Yeah,
I think
Well,
that way they.
I think maybe Tom's right, and 5 of you can go, 3 of you can go. It would be something that,
You know, let them work on it a little bit together and then bring it to us, and then we
oh
can.
no, but then you put it off another week.
Yeah, we don't want to keep putting this off
Right.
because
no,
But at least it gives them.
regardless of the fact that we just had 2 days of April Fool's snow,
And maybe
the
some
kids
more.
are out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe
I've
some more
been
tomorrow.
Couple days of
bombarded
rain.
with them on their scooters when
Gonna
I
go
go into
quick.
the school grounds even now, so
Cookies again right after.
we'd like to get this resolved so that once really good weather comes, the kids are there without adding more work to our administrators to be out there policing them and making sure their language is okay and they're not doing things they shouldn't be doing.
I'm not so sure anything there is gonna fix that though.
Yeah. Well, maybe the new camera will keep a better eye on them.
Could I say, one of the reasons this all began was because there weren't very specific rules around using skateboard park. So during the day, if I went out and I saw a student that wasn't one of ours, so I couldn't say that they were out of school, I had no authority to say you have to leave. They would actually say to me, I had a number of people say to me, this is not school property, this is town property, you can't tell me to leave. So we had high school students who had an off schedule, so they were out while we were in session, that happens, refusing to leave and saying, so this all came from the thing, you're right, putting a rule on the town website, if we put this up so everyone can see it, and putting some of it on signage, doesn't fix the problem, but allows me to say, yes, I do have the authority. It says right there
Well,
that you have.
the current signage there does say it. It does say hours of operation, 6 a.m. to dusk, while school is not in session. Closed while school is in
But
session.
what I'm telling you is, they will say to me, this is not school property, you can't make us follow the rules. What I've had to then do is call the police, and I have. But if I can say no, look, it says school personnel have the authority to make you adhere, however we language.
Sure.
It doesn't solve it, but it gives me at least more authority to say, no, I actually do.
Okay.
And so that was what started this whole conversation, is we wound up with the responsibility because of where it's located, but not the authority. And kids in town actually use those verbiage back to us.
Okay, so Park and Rec will meet next Tuesday, and I will,
We'll squeeze it into the agenda.
we'll, yeah. We'll gather as many people as we can for your meeting on the
Okay,
18th. And it may
And then
just
do
be-
you want you guys to go the
Okay,
18th?
so
Well,
your homework, though, I think, is to be able to let me know what signage
Good choice of
you're
words.
looking there. If you're looking nowhere if you want. Oh, you want what's there now?
Now, Karen, does your sign say anything about Weare residents, or?
No, I don't think so.
So in the summertime, other people can use it, is that, I guess that's where I was going.
All kinds of people.
Oh, okay. God, you got stuff.
Yeah, it's horrible. Be careful. Be careful, you'll be
I know, I sit
stuck
down
to
there
it.
at our meetings and I always get stuck. Just so you can reference what's there now.
Look at you come prepared. Don't
Thank
stick
you.
on the table, though. Yep, thank you.
I'll share with Mark.
I'm good.
Yeah, I tossed out a suggestion that we try to wrap it all up with members of this board being there on the 18th as well. Is that acceptable to the board, and are there people who can make it on the 18th, which is a Tuesday? Right?
After you check in at the PD.
No, I can't.
What time, Marge? 7?
Our meeting, no, it's at 6.
6. That might interrupt with the registration.
Registration for,
Sorry, I'm just being sorry.
We can be
What Eileen
flexible
mentioned.
with
The
the agenda
911,
and move you, if you need to come
Oh,
later, we'll
and I gotta
adjust.
I was just,
we got a class to be at
no, I mean, I can do
8 o'clock,
6, that's fine.
yeah, I can.
But I don't have any vote, so.
so,
giving you your vote?
We do need a commitment from, I think, at least 3 board members. Who else can go?
Can you? Or are you on schedule?
I'll see what I can do.
Jan, you can?
I should be able to be there.
Jan,
I can be there.
Rick.
John?
Which one?
The 18th.
18th at 6 o'clock at
6
the
o'clock.
middle school
At the middle school.
library.
Yeah, could be. What day is that, Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yes.
Tuesday.
I'd have to wait a couple of nights.
All right, I'll post it that you guys will meet over
Yeah, the
there, and
meeting,
hopefully we can.
If something changes.
Okay, so Parks and Rec will meet.
Yep.
Come up with suggestions.
Yep.
Related to the draft. And then the 3 groups, representation from at least the 3 groups will meet at the board meeting on April 18th at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Sound
Okay.
good?
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
And I want to thank all members of the school board and the administrators for coming tonight, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Mm-hmm.
Go upstairs
Say to what?
for Wednesday.
Just go in there and let her swear you in.
Oh, it's swear again. I'd have to do it
She
last
swear at you again.
time. Shouldn't do it last time.
She's here Wednesday nights, so.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Randy. Wow.
We have minutes from March 27th. I had only one little thing, and that's just on the second page, where it's talking about the new TV, third line down, purchase a new TV and wall. I inserted the word mount for the library.
Oh, well.
Anyone else have corrections or additions? Move to approve the minutes of March 27th as amended.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
I abstain.
Yeah,
I wasn't here for it.
Jack.
Need these.
Just mount is all you had?
Just mount after, it should be wall mount,
Wall.
second page, third line down.
Okay.
A manifest. To order the treasurer, I move to order the treasurer to sign payroll and accounts payable checks dated April 6, 2017, included in the following manifests. Payroll, $60,720.02. And this includes the regular weekly payroll, police department uniform allowances, longevity bonuses for
10 years or more.
10 years or more for any employee, and bonus day payouts for qualified employees. That's why it's higher than usual.
And it's, so does it say monthly flyer?
I think that was a,
It's on a
That's
separate
separated.
line.
Sorry.
There's also a supplemental payroll of $2,316.02, because those are bonus days that were overlooked in the previous manifest. A fire department payroll manifest of $16,216.75, and accounts payable manifest of $93,226.46. So the total is $172,479.25. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Administrators report.
I'm gonna, these came in today. These are 3 notice of intent to excavate that are due April 1st. Obviously, it was a Saturday. It's just from our 3 gravel pits in town, Towns, Browns, and Bolton. So there's a spot here. I filled out the bond amounts that we have. So if you would sign them on their way down through, I'd appreciate it. It's a yearly form. It runs from April 1st to March 31st, but it's the intent. You're gonna see a report, and then there's a warrant generated for 2 cents a yard after those come in. So I gotta write down. The other thing I've got, this is our tax map maintenance proposal, which is a yearly, contract for $3,075, which is exactly what's been for the last couple of years. So there is enough signatures. There's 4 signature lines, so one of you will have to, maybe by the time it gets to the end of the table, it doesn't need a warrant, it doesn't need a approval for just the chair, because there's enough of you to sign. CAI, tax maps.
Sure.
Contract. All right, let me just get down to my pile here. I will like to, at the end of the evening, when we're done with business, is to go into non-public under A and C, so we can distribute the pool of raises that was passed at town meeting.
You say we're all signing this, right?
Excuse me?
We're all signing this.
All but one of you, yeah. So I'd like to do that. Now I'll go to my list. I know, Lori, did you make an appointment with Mary? I didn't have for the noise ordinance. Have you picked a day yet?
No, John was out of town.
Okay, because I said unsure, because I wasn't sure, okay. The transfer station fees, you all, in the package that I sent down with you, I know it got, there's the quarterly report, there's, of where we are. Those numbers, are what we talked about, adjusted, plus it's got the contract in there. So the contract is in there, and then the other that we were gonna go with option 3 has been changed. So that's all in there, but you will see on the very back sheet, it says the article for the raises is still there. It hasn't been distributed because it's not been approved by you yet. So it's still down in the bottom and not in that budget number, just to make you sure. Then you've got, I didn't print all, Beth's got a DPW and a police department, if you saw it in the thing. She's broken down, there's a cover sheet, a summary at the beginning, and then there's per vehicle. So the highway department's fairly lengthy. The police cruiser's not that, but it's by car. The summary sheet's page 1, and then every one has a car. It's in a kind of an expense for each car, each piece of equipment. So I didn't print them all out, I kind of gave you the summary sheet in color. And then there is one with transfer station receipts there. It's a 2-page one that you have, and that is for the first quarter as well. So everything that you got is for the first quarter. Okay?
The only thing it doesn't say for police vehicles as to which one is what year of each vehicle, but.
Oh, on the oh, okay. She's got, if you open it up, I believe it's got a description in the top. Does it say the Crown Vic and a serial number? Not that one, but the sheets that follow each one car.
Oh.
When you open up each sheet, she's got the identification number.
Yeah, I don't know. I think 4's.
I don't know where 4, 6 is the
6 is the SUV.
4 is
2,
gone.
2 is the new ACO.
4 is gone.
5 is the
5 is ACO.
Okay.
So I just want, I mean, if you want to study your numbers and if you have any questions,
One of the extra days.
Beth or I will feel free to answer them for you.
No, which one is not,
That's a crowd there.
but yeah.
The police, the locker renovations and looking for additional space, there is, gonna have a gentleman come over. He's gonna meet with me first, Kurt Lauer, I think we talked about that, he's an architect. He can't meet this week, so he's gonna meet me here Wednesday the 12th. Look over all the plans that we have, I know they're not identical, evidently from what we saw. And then from there, we'll go over, and I'm just gonna let him look at it without a suggestion and see what we could do as far as space needs for the locker room project. That's gonna happen on the 12th. I have had a few minutes, obviously, to put together, I'm already thinking of summer, a summer schedule. So if you wanna take one and pass it down, I'll see if it's something you wanna do. This is for the whole year. I basically, have circled would be the meeting days. Beginning on the 29th. Now, if you look at May, I'll wait for you to all catch up. if you look at May, May has 5 Mondays. The 5th Monday is a holiday, so if you start and go 1, 8, 15, 22 as regular meetings, and then you start your every other, it works out so that we're not doubling up, that the 4th would be your last one off, and then starting the 11th, we would start back every week, just like we did last year. We started at Memorial Day and went to Labor Day.
That's okay.
But it works out without having to double one up. I know you're probably not pleased with July 3rd, but it has to be to work out that way.
Fine.
So,
That's what it is.
if that's something you're interested in doing,
Yep. Looks good to me.
So as of September 11th,
we'll be back weekly.
Every
Yep,
week.
every week. And along that same line, I guess more of a general comment would go to my meeting time start. I know Tom and I've had a brief discussion, and I might have mentioned it to some of you, is instead of starting at 7, is maybe start at 6. I know you're probably the one that, because I have talked to John, Jan, and you get out at 5?
I get out at 4 o'clock-ish.
Oh, you have no
Ish.
problem.
But usually it's 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is, I don't know if anyone has a concern, Tom expressed a concern to me about public comment. Is 6 o'clock too early for the crowd to come? Just asking.
I was talking in generality, not necessarily about specific people.
Oh, no, and
At the time,
I didn't mean it by that.
I don't know, but, I mean, I don't know, 6 o'clock's fine with me.
Well, I know some of you knew it was Monday night, so you've adjusted your personal schedules, but I just,
Yeah, because I mean, I get up early, I'm at 4
because
in the morning, gives me time to go home
the department
and
has
sleep.
like 6 as well.
Yeah.
It was easier on the other end and waiting at the other end of the night. So if that's,
Yeah.
if we want to try it and see how it goes,
Yeah, I think it'd be.
everybody else, I mean, is that how you want to do it, Tom?
Again, it's not my schedule.
Yep.
6 o'clock is fine for me. I just don't want to deny anybody else the opportunity to be here because they can't get here because of work. or
Sure.
Well,
Even though, reality, we have a small group usually.
Yep, yep.
But there might be an instance.
Yeah, and an example, I'll just say with tonight, these people probably stayed, the 2 principals and the business administrator stayed here until 7, instead of going home. But,
Well, if you have public comment both in the beginning and at the end, I mean,
That's true.
you know,
And they wanted to
somebody
end
can
it
get
Yeah,
it.
you did, ended up with 2, it was clipped, look at that.
oh. Well, if you want to try, we can start next week at 6 and see what it, go with it for a while.
I think that,
I mean, we got, you talk about public comment, well, if you just put the 1 at the end, I mean, that way we get the town's business done ahead of time, and then they can have the public comment at the end. And they still give them time to be here.
They could be here later at 7-ish or whatever.
I personally prefer to keep both rather than just put one.
I think it detracts from us doing the town's business. I mean, there's nothing that says we have to offer any public comment. We're here to conduct the town business. I mean, they can put their name on the agenda and come forward.
That would go over well.
Well, I mean, that's what our function is, and it's, but we do that to the people in town, taxpayers, but I mean, I think we can get the town's business done. If they have any questions about what's taking place that night, I mean, Frank is gone, and he spoke about stuff that happened, he's talking about stuff back on candidates night, how can we,
Answer it.
you can't answer something like that. It's coming and sandbagging us, and to be blunt, and if he was here, I'd tell him that, it sandbags us, 'cause
Well,
we don't
candidates
know.
night was when I said I was gonna go through all the
I
evidence.
mean, to find out what took place 2 months ago. I mean, you're looking at March for a bill that came in that just got paid out for a gas cap, it's for $90. I mean, but at least that way, if we have the public comment at the end, I mean, it's.
And that'll give them time to get here.
Yeah, and it'll give us time also, it may also keep it on track to what's taking place in the town's business at that point. To come back in 2 months, 3 months later, or 3 weeks, or a month later is, I think, is unfair to us. There's no way we can answer those questions.
Right.
I mean, And I think we ought to keep it on track, and I mean, we'll stay right, you know, that's my opinion, and right, wrong, or indifferent, but I mean, our job primarily, we're elected to, is to conduct the town's business, not to get beat up. And that's what at times it turns out to be.
But that's not gonna change, whether you
No,
have
it's
it
not
at the
gonna change.
beginning or at the end.
But I think,
But I do think that if you have,
let us get done the business first.
right, except that maybe somebody, like, now we're changing to 6 o'clock. Maybe it would be convenient for other people to
Yeah.
come in early, get it done and leave, and, I don't know. But I meant to have both.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The only comment I would have on public comment, and I understand this is only my third meeting, but I've been watching them for quite a while. It seems like public comment has turned into public debate, and I didn't think that's what it was for. I mean, you know, whoever's up here talking can keep going back and forth, and I didn't, to me, that's a debate. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know.
Times I get the impression that it turns out to be more of a
You know, if they got that much, if they, you know, if they got
Public-
that much to
public-
bring up,
public
they
whipping,
need to
you
get
know.
on the agenda to bring it up, then we can debate it.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
That's just my thought.
It's hard for me to sit here and if there is an inaccuracy, not to say it.
Yes.
Like being told that we don't look at these.
Right.
When we all do, and we have a sheet right in front of us that lists the repairs on each vehicle, I think that had to be said.
Oh, I don't disagree with that, but I mean, there's nothing that says we have to do, you know, have two public comments. Let's get the town's business done, and then if they wanna come up and have the public comment, have it at the end, and then we have more time, we've got our business done, and we're not delayed. I mean, like I said, our primary concern, I look at it, is we gotta get the business of running the town done. We have to do all the necessary items, and then, you know, they can have the public comment afterwards. You know, maybe they'll have a comment about what we've done as far as conducting business. It's a little more current than, like I said, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month ago, you know, or more, and,
And for all we know, their question might be answered during our.
yeah, it's true.
Then I do have a question. Is there a reason that highway isn't doing their police cars, or is there?
I know that some of it we discussed before, that part of it is, some of the stuff that has to be done to those police vehicles has to be done by a certified mechanic that's certified under a certain standard. We didn't have one. Oil changes, they were doing oil changes before.
But that has a lot to do with scheduling,
A
though.
lot of it has to do with scheduling.
Yeah.
But some of these,
I mean, they've been.
they've got a new
busy over
mechanic,
highway, so I mean, I
they've
can
got a new
understand.
mechanic now, so he might be able to pick up.
Because I know
some of
last
these,
Tuesday, I was down the highway garage talking to them, there was a police cruiser up
Up
on
on
the
that, so they are doing that.
They are doing
They're
some
doing-
stuff. Yeah.
But when they probably get the new shop, they might be able to
Yeah.
do more.
Do
Right
more.
now, I mean,
The other thing is too, is I mean, the age of that fleet down there at the highway department is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
the
And
age of the police fleet is.
well, that wasn't much better, but we made strides. The town made strides
Yeah.
to fix or
Fix
remedy that. The other thing is too is we have a new set of eyes on the vehicles down there at the highway department now, and a lot of attention needs to be given to them. So I know that, you know, and I've been asked that several times by townspeople, and my response is, and it's still there, is, you know, until the town mechanic and the DPW director are satisfied that fleet is, you know, maintainable in its standard, I think that needs to be their concentration.
That's
Full on concentration. And if an oil change can slip in, then an oil change can slip in for the PD. But if it can't, it can't. I'm sorry.
The primary responsibility of that mechanic is for the highway.
It's for the highway department.
I mean,
Exactly.
some towns, I know one town that they have a mechanic, they just get approved to hire a second person, he's gonna be for the highway department, but one of the people at the highway department, his job is the mechanic. And some of his salary is paid for from the police department, from the fire department, Parks and Rec department, they all contribute. And he maintains their fleet. And he's now got another person, so, I mean, and he does everything from engine changes, but he's a certified mechanic, he does engine changes, transmissions, and everything else. I mean, that's maybe something later on to look at, but right now,
You also got to keep in mind, they're going to be homeless
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah, and that's
So-
the other thing, they've got another, yeah.
The DPW garage is
One
not
way
even
to put it,
down.
I guess.
They'll be, you know,
Well, no, I didn't mean it that way.
No, but you're
It's-
right, but you're right.
you make it sound like we'll have to recycle the washing machine
They're
boxes
gonna go
down
from
there.
this to this.
Yeah.
Scotland.
We got
That'd be
two
living.
different things going here
Right.
on the floor right now. We could take care of the public comment issue. Because we've got definitely two different points of view on that.
Right.
And the question is, should we continue having two public comments, one at the beginning and one at the end, or simply have the one at the end of the meeting? So I'm just gonna poll people, and then if I have to break the tie, I will. John, what do you think?
I'd go at the end.
Just the end?
Yep.
Okay.
Jack,
Just the end.
I'm gonna go with the end.
I would.
no tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker, you and I are hanging out there.
No, I was hoping I would, because I was for the two. but Win some, lose some.
Now we can give it a try.
Yeah,
That's right.
sure, we can give it a
Yeah,
try,
See
see
what
if it works.
see
And
what
if it
adjust
doesn't
it.
work out, and we get hung for it, then we can do something different.
Here's what it is.
Okay. So we're going to meet at 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Just one other thing on that, is a 1 week notice enough to let people know we've changed?
I think so.
I think they're seeing it now.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I want to say is, I mean, there's a lot of times we start with a non-public and people
Yeah.
sometimes take notice and come early.
But that's another thing that I forgot to mention, but I was thinking about after we had our conversation, because it means that we would end up meeting at 5:30 on many nights.
That won't be able to happen.
Or either that, have the non-public at the end.
You could push, yeah.
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 Again, that means that we often hold up an employee if the non-public is related to a personnel issue, which usually they are.
Okay, you have to listen to me jabber down my food then. I'll have to get something to eat.
Oh.
If you bring enough for
Okay,
everybody,
or
we
either
wouldn't
Or
mind.
either compromise and go back and just step back a half hour and have the meeting start at 6:30 instead of 6. And that way they can come in for the
Then you could have non-public at
6.
6, if we had to have non-public.
If we had to, yeah.
We had to.
I could compromise.
Yeah,
Six is tight already.
yeah, it would be a little tight,
Yeah.
but it.
6:30 then?
Yeah, I mean, we
Way
have
that
a
I could
lot
dash
of
into my
non-publics
workload.
before the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't, yeah,
All right, well, let's try it at 6:30
okay.
and go from there.
Yep.
But I think 1 week, I mean, people get the agenda and see it and kind of know.
Yeah.
In this, I don't need you to comment. I don't know. It was very interesting reading. If you want to hand this around, I gave this to you. You'll notice I only printed the first 2 pages because, I'm sorry, that's probably correspondence. I'm just buttering right in. It has to do with the rescheduled town meetings, which I think is very interesting. This came out on Friday, which I got Friday, but I just, the first 2 pages really have to do with the rescheduled town meeting. There's other things in this flyer that comes to me, but it has to do with the Senate passing, and do you want me to talk about it, Tom, just so everybody's aware? It has to do with the rescheduling of the March 14th vote, and there was a Senate bill passed, which would have been Thursday, Senate Bill 248, which it was introduced to ratify actions taken at the rescheduled meetings. The bill passed with a committee amendment that deletes all the original language and merely provides for the creation of a committee to study the rescheduling. They talked about a floor amendment, and the Democrats are in favor, Republicans all voted against. But it goes on to tell you that tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, there's going to be a proposed amendment that's going to fix this postponement. It's Senate Bill 108, which is to do with the absentee ballot part, because there must be a challenge on both parts. So if the language in the proposed amendment will be chapter only, meaning that it'll apply to only the current situation. It won't be a forever thing. It's only going to apply to this current situation that occurred. And what the proposed amendment provides, which I find very interesting and I think people need to understand, is that the towns and the schools that postponed their meeting from the 14th, they're authorized to hold a special meeting on May 23rd to ratify the votes taken on the alternative day. So if we aren't part of this, but looking at, I've seen some letters to the editor about we should have moved things, and there's consequences to that, which people are in this boat and not us. But the May 23rd ballots by May 23rd meetings by official ballot, and only has one question. And that question is, shall the action taken by the official ballot in whatever town at the meeting held on whatever date to be ratified? That's the question, it's yes or no. So then, anybody that did it has to hold a special meeting April 25th.
Added cost.
And there's added costs. So the governing body votes at the public hearing to hold a special meeting. Then they must post the warrant, place of the evening. The absentee ballots are available till May 2nd. But I think it goes down to tell you that the yes means that it's legal, ratified, and affirmed. But the no means that all offices on the ballot become vacant and all warrant articles deemed defeated. Yes or no? So, and then if you have a vacancy that you can't do business, the governor is going to appoint a resident to fill the spot. And then, it's just amazing that it's yes or no. So everything that was voted on, say, passed, and people voted no, then everything fails. So it's a yes or a no.
What a nightmare.
It
Look at the town of Lisbon.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Look at the town of Lisbon.
Considering this.
They got
Yeah.
one selectman, the others all with them.
right, and that's what I'm
They've got
saying.
an appointment from the governor's office, the attorney general,
Right.
and the secretary of state.
So I'm just saying, we did only have a small turnout, but I think I wouldn't want to have to try to come up with the costs to do all of this and the extra
No.
printing and the extra ballots.
Extra time.
Extra time, you have to get people there, counters,
Lawyers.
reprogramming the ballot machine, and it just is. So I'm just saying that, for as much as we did do it in the snowstorm, I think we made the right decision. That's just my opinion.
With all of this, there has been a lot of heat in the newspaper about the way that it was handled by the Secretary of State and the governor, because virtually every town attorney was saying
They had a different opinion.
that, they all had the same opinion, that Weare had a right to postpone the vote.
Right.
As did the Financial Municipals Association attorneys.
Yep.
And, I don't know, he said something like 50 attorneys that cover municipal law
Mhm.
statewide all had the same opinion, and that the Secretary of State shouldn't have gotten into it at all because it was a local election. So,
But this is only gonna solve this one issue. This isn't gonna be anything going forward. This is only gonna solve the issue that
It's just to take
happened.
care of the issue.
That's
yeah.
right,
It's
just
not gonna talk about
the passage of
inclement
that,
weather.
Again, it's not gonna affect us.
No, but it could hurt some people, yeah. Some could be hurt by it. But it's interesting reading. I just kind of read it to you, but I found it interesting. That's all I have.
Okay,
So. No, we're back to public comment. Yeah.
Yeah, we covered the correspondence too.
Public comment, Lori, you have something to say? Anybody have other business? Okay, then do you need a non-public?
I just want to go over the list and the names and it's A and C because it's to do with compensation and the employee.
And then after that,
You can come out.
They will be included. The printout we got tonight didn't include those raises.
I have them right here. Right, the printout you got, it will not. You'll have another printout.
Right. That'll.
Because right now it's in the bottom called warrant article for raises. It's in there as a lump sum.
Is there anything else that hasn't been rolled in? Because usually there's a revised budget number.
You have it right there. It's in front of you. Because if you I'll just share with you, if you want to go to page 14. 14 has warrant articles. She's got non-union raises. That's the first one. That will be distributed through the various items because it's got another probably 30 entries she's got to make because of it's got wages, it's got Medicare, it's got FICA, it's got retirement and the actual wage for the department for each person. So there's a lot of numbers that she'll have to put in. So you'll get another number. So if you look at one line above that, you're gonna see a different number from the 5675200. That's got the contract in it with all the things that came with the contract, and then it's got the 108 moved around. And then this would be our next step, but it couldn't happen until you guys look at it and, because we said it was a pool.
Are there any other items under warrant article that will be rolled into the operating budget?
No. Because the rest are pretty much, the Cypre is by itself, contracted service July 4th fireworks, road reconstruction, forest land, and the cruisers, that's it. And then the other three aren't rolled into the budget, they're rolled into capital reserve funds.
Okay, so it'll be just that one line?
It'll be just that one, it'll be distributed, and then you'll get one more printout, which she can give you probably next week if we roll them in.
And that will change every budget except police. Any budget that has...
No, the police have got, the secretary is gonna be affected by the change.
Secretary, okay, so we'll,
So,
any budget that has wages.
correct.
Or salaries.
So that's a one printout, but you'll get one more that'll be different, and then that one more that you finished with will be the constant number throughout the season.
So now have the police cruisers been ordered, or?
Cruises have been ordered. We've got bids out right now on the, I call it upfit. I don't know which one to call it. Is that the word? Yeah. The upfit, which is the cage, the lights, so those are out right now. The cars have been ordered. And then you're gonna see Benji here next week, because he's got paving, reclaiming, crushing, the truck and the truck body out for bid too, so he's got those opening Friday. He'll be here for some that are straightforward, but not for others.
On the last page, that's why the breakdown under warrant article police cruisers has an encumbrance of 75,480.
That's right.
And then
That's a PO.
the remaining, the 31,704 is for the outfitting of the cars, because we estimated $10,000 per car.
And hopefully we're right.
Shouldn't be too bad.
Well, last number we had was August, so, it's gonna be,
Depends, I mean, you can find there's different companies that do it, so you can get different
right,
bids on each
right,
one.
that's what he's doing.
Ossipee Mountain, Light Communications.
Adamson was always one.
Adamson,
Yeah.
the other one.
Yeah, Adamson does the whole package.
Except they'll install the radios, they can't tune them. You have to tell them.
No, he's had to get a hold of Jeff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to get
So-
either.
So there'll be that'll be to answer your question, that'll be the only one that'll be rolled in. The rest will stay on the bottom part of,
Now, are all these gonna be, like, coming up soon because of,
well, I mean, Tom, the janitor sink, we went over.
okay?
The town-
I called and gave them the go-ahead and told them to call me when they needed it again.
The town hall doors, I think, we've got, Tom's made a couple of contacts. I don't know that anybody's looked at them yet, have they?
No, they haven't.
Okay.
But we've got to if we're going to get them done this summer.
We got scheduled this week.
somebody
I
on
mean, it's
board.
already April, there isn't another snow on the ground.
It's just, things are going to get busy.
And we're still meeting bi-weekly in the garage. The town hall installation's been on there for over a year.
Yep.
That's to this place. And the doors, I got it on there twice, so we don't miss it, I guess. I see that now.
Well, just boost the urgency. Put it on
That's
twice.
right. If I continue to add it, it makes the list look long.
On that insulation, what was holding us up on that is a proposal for ventilation.
Right.
So
We have
maybe
no-
we can go the same route here and have the engineers that we were looking at other things give a recommendation for ventilation, and we can get that done.
I would agree.
Okay. We'll have to get some new quotes, because they were last year's or a year and a half old
Yeah.
now.
Now, we do have specs on the gazebo.
Yeah, I was gonna ask him to make sure we were all set with that, because I believe we are, and
To
then
move forward. and
put
send it
him,
to bid.
put him back out to the two that bid on him before, because now they'll be apples to apples.
Yeah, yeah. Get that done before.
And that's right, because, you know, Patriotic Celebration will be rolling up here in
No
July.
time. Yeah.
I know, it comes before you know.
Yep, another month down.
The older you get, the quicker it goes.
Mhm. That's very true.
Are we ready for?
I'm good.
Move to go into non-public under RSA 91A, 91A3,
Night.
Roman numeral 2, A and C.
Second.
Is there a second?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, Ricky
I get it.
seconded.
Okay.
Aye.
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 Aye.